Dom, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Do you want me to refer to as vEmpire or vEmpire? Is there a preference on that?
Definitely V.
Got it. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Park, Head of Business Development at Bittrex Global and the host of our video AMA. Today, we're featuring vEmpire, and our guests are Dominic Ryder, CEO of vEmpire. Thanks for joining today. We are excited about our partnership with vEmpire and to specifically learn more about the VEMP gaming token. So thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Great to be here.
Great. So for our AMAs, we source questions from the Bittrex Global community and the crypto community regarding your listings. So let's dive in to see what they want to know about your project. To kick things off, we always like to get to know our guests and their projects, since each project has an interesting story. So can you tell us about what gave you the motivation to build and develop a unique project like yours?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background has always been traditional finance. So I came out of college and went straight into stockbroking, and that was a proper sales orientated role, 250 calls a day, proper boiler room that you'd see as any stereotypical stockbroker officer in the movies and that. And yeah, I sort of loved the buzz of sales and stockbroking, and moved into derivatives trading at the same firm. And after that, moved to FTSE 100 Wealth Manager, St. James's Place, as an associate partner. And then after that, I moved into venture capital myself. So sort of like the, three of the most greed orientated traditional financial roles that you could possibly have. So I witnessed a lot during my time there, predominantly sort of some of the worst parts in the stockbroking side. So the protocol itself and vEmpire is fighting back against centralization, and especially its encroachment on the metaverse. For anybody who has jumped into Decentraland, at the moment it's just sort of advertising, art galleries and casinos. There's a lot of VCs in the area that have the same sway over every single project, and it's turning into quite a monopolistic market. And this was when I was writing the white paper, and that was way before everything shot through the roof, which is in the past sort of month. So at that point, people were being priced out of metaverse property, let alone now. Some of our stuff we bought for 50,000, a 3x3 estate and sandbox, that's worth like 400,000 now. So our platform sort of allows users to take advantage of this metaverse gold rush by staking onto our platform, and we redistribute the profits back to the users. And as well as that, we build games both on platform and within metaverses. So like I said, with just art galleries and casinos, we thought we can do better. So we are building both games within these metaverses, as well as our first game, which should be out by the end of the week on our platform.
Sure, and thanks for that. It's very helpful. And it's very interesting. I think it's also a good segue to my next question. There are so many projects out there right now, and it's increasingly becoming difficult for users to pinpoint exactly why and how a project is unique from all the others. So my next question from one of our community members. So how do you differentiate vEmpire from other blockchain projects that focus on these scalable solutions, especially the Ethereum network, obviously, and with the upgrade to ETH 2.0? What can help them scale the network in a significant way?
I know every founder you probably have on here, talks about how unique their protocol is and how there's nothing like it. But, in reality, this past year, the launchers have been just, forks of something else, but we've improved on this a little bit, or another animal token, another Inu token, or a food-based swap, and it's all, quite boring, really. So I can honestly say that there is no protocol in existence that's doing what vEmpire is doing, and that is Metaverse token staking onto our platform and redistributing profits in both our native token VEMP and also a secondary yield in the token staked. So, Sand will redistribute VEMP and Sand, Mana, VEMP and Mana, etc. We've got, as well as that, Starlink, Ethereum, and AXS, which actually has a triple yield aggregation, so returns VEMP, AXS, and SLP. So, there is no like-for-like competitor to us in this area. I would say the closest that we've got is YGG, but even then, they focus a lot more on the guild aspect, which is only, one of a few that we focus on. As well as that, as I say, wanted to make sure that we were both building in the metaverse and not just, buying land like some sort of, metaverse land baron. And we are actually implementing, fun in the metaverses that we are actually taking an interest in as well. So, yeah, I mean, going back to sort of Ethereum and Ethereum 2.0, I mean, as the metaverse expands at the moment, everything is ERC20 and built on ETH. You're getting brand new protocols pop up on BSC now, and obviously you've got Star Atlas on Sol. You've got quite a few on Polygon. So it is scaling up, but really I see that across all networks and all layer ones, really. I don't think that in sort of 3 years it will be so segmented to Ethereum. So to answer the second part.
Great. Thank you for that. So I think you've touched upon this briefly, but let's get into the details about, I guess, the token ecosystem. So we're our community is very interested in the tokens that you offer and their tokenomics. You've integrated 3 tokens, so VAMP, just a native token, and you also have the governance token and the battle token. So can you explain the roles of these tokens and their tokenomics? Do they each have a price in the market? It looks like initially you did mint 90 million of the VAMP tokens. What about the governance and the battle tokens?
Yes, so VEMP is our only publicly traded token, which holds its own value outside of the protocol itself. So VEMP, once staked, is given XVEMP. So that is purely an LP token. It's sort of a proof of ownership. When you stake your VEMP, you'll get XVEMP back in your wallet. So it holds no value, but you can keep track of exactly, how much you have staked. XS VEMP is being implemented with our full game launch. So as you mentioned, that is our battle token. So again, that does not hold value outside of the protocol. But once XVEMP is staked and users can choose to battle on our game on platform, the trading card game, then XS VEMP can be converted back to VEMP. So that will be basically how you claim your winnings. So yeah, it does seem a little bit complicated, but yeah, we do get asked a lot, which token should I buy? But yeah, it's definitely just VEMP that you can buy. So to get the full value of VEMP, you really need to be staking it, because every single metaverse strategy we have gifts profit to VEMP stakers, and every single game we implement will do exactly the same. So effectively, by owning and staking VEMP, you're not just following one horse and hoping that that goes well. You are getting access to, at present, if you include the earlier stage projects in our Ethereum strategy, sort of 10 metaverses, multiple more NFT protocols, and game fee protocols. So XVEMP, although it doesn't have a value, it's by far the most important token to hold, and you get that by staking VEMP into our DAO.
Sure, and that's very helpful. It can, obviously sometimes get a little tricky with multiple tokens within the
Yeah.
ecosystem. I guess to follow up on your response, so the VAMP, and to clarify, the VAMP token owners can stake their tokens for XVAMP, which will immediately allow them to earn rewards and I think also voting rights in the DDAO. So is there any other rights an XVAMP holder earn when participating in voting, and what benefits does it bring to the actual XVAMP token itself?
Yeah, so as well as getting being able to vote in the DDAO, the problem with having the double D is that people just think it's a typo every time, but it does actually stand for Democratic DAO. So I'll touch on that a bit later. But yeah, so if you stake your VEMP, the XVEMP grants you to be gifted profits from the protocol itself. So that includes every single element. So 10 to 20% of every Metaverse token staking strategy. That will vary depending on the time and development, as well as that 10 to 20% of all games, both on platform and within metaverses as well. So the yield at present is being paid through our mission schedule, like some of our other pools. But as the portfolios mature, and once the game is implemented specifically this coming weeks, then that will start to be paid purely from profits. So at the moment, it's been a fairly level sort of 11% yield, but we're expecting that to increase dramatically as the interest in our game does. So of the 90 million, 96.25, if you include our IEO as well as our IDO, 96.25, 50 million of that, so over 50% is already staked, which obviously is extremely good in terms of getting that not out of the circulating supply but out of general circulation, and that only varies by sort of 1 or 2 million, depending on, even with the big market upheaval, I think less than 1 million of that 50 million actually took it out of the DAO, and I presume panic sold. So we got a clever community at least. But yeah, so with XVEMP, that is minted and burnt upon entry and exit. So because it holds no value, it's there just as a sort of placeholder, and that's the same for XSVEMP. So that will never sort of leave with a value from the protocol itself.
Sure. So let's actually talk about the DDAO. I did notice an interesting concept and found a phrase. So could you explain in more detail about the concept and I guess an intention of saying vEmpire DDAO is the first protocol to set out within the intention of invading others? Could you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I alluded to, it's not just a typo. So our DAO is run democratically. So what that means is that above a set minimum, well, the reason why a normal DAO is run on amount of tokens that somebody has is to prevent cyber attacks. And a cyber attack is where somebody will set up, thousands of bots with $1 of a token and try and influence decisions that way. So the point of a DAO and having it done on token share is supposed to be so that it prevents this problem. But what it does mean is that if 100 of my community vote one way and I decide I want to go the other, I immediately wipe them all out. And at the end of the day, it leaves the decisions very much in the team, founders and developers and whales' hands rather than the actual intentions of the community. So I didn't see any reason why without a set minimum you could still have it one vote per wallet. So what it means is that whether it's me voting or you voting or anybody else, as long as they hold above that set minimum, all voices are equal, and it is sort of as low as we can have it. So that was the reason I didn't see it's, in my opinion, it's quite easily noticeable if you've suddenly got tons of increased holders, all with a certain amount. It's a very expensive way to try and influence it compared to how easy it is to spot. So I thought, let's try it that way and have it a lot more community driven.
Sure, that makes complete sense. Let's segue to, I guess, one of the hotter topics within the industry. Let's talk about NFTs. They are a huge hot topic at the moment and a large part of your platform as well. And one of our users asked, what key features distinguish vEmpire from other NFT games out there?
So I would say again, with our trading cards, so sort of a key focal point for me is the accessibility of users to NFTs and metaverses. That's why it's done democratically and why we set out the protocol. And it's the same with our game. So I think with some of our competitors, I won't name them, you can't actually play the game unless you own the trading cards, which they are ridiculously priced now. So with our game, anybody can play, but the NFTs provide a slight advantage. So I didn't want it to be pay to win. So a common NFT, for example, will boost the score by 1 per card, and the game is 1 on strength, a rare by 2 or 3 for a unique. So what this effectively does, and how I always describe it, is, people go to a casino because there's a good chance that they'll win. The chances are 48 or 49%, and the house has a 51 or 52% advantage. That's what owning the NFTs does. So it allows you to be the house. So you won't win every game, certainly not. But over a long period, that increased, 1 or 2 point score should allow you to be one of the more profitable players. So that's how I wanted it to be. Everybody can play the game, but those who do, contribute to the platform by purchasing the NFTs will have an edge.
Got it. So I think to delve a little deeper on that, one of our community members did ask and pointed out that, the vEmpire, the Founding Soldier NFT, is available on OpenSea Marketplace. And it has, I think, almost 200 items and has 37 different owners. So I think you did touch a little bit upon that, but to get into more details. So as an NFT collector or buyer, I'm curious to learn how those NFTs will be eventually valuable in the market as well.
Yeah, so it will be, firstly, the Founding Soldiers themselves are all marked with a VE in the bottom left-hand corner, if you're looking at the screen. So that is the mark of the Founding Soldiers. We will have more NFTs available, but those won't be necessarily Romulus or Remus, which are the current 2 factions, as you would. So, if we introduce more, they won't have that marking. Number 1, they will be potentially a whole new army and set. And the most important thing is that they do have value within the protocol. So our NFT owners, we will be looking after in other ways, more than just the +1 or +2 strength bonus. They will provide more benefits on the platform, which are due to be developed. But so a normal NFT, you've got the artistic element of it, but the utility of these NFTs are going to be unmatched at the moment. It's the crypto market is very bad at looking even a couple of weeks ahead. So I think that right now the sort of floor on these is going to be a lot smaller than it will be in the future, because once people realize the advantages that they bring, I think that that's soon going to be realized in the market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, I'm sure people will be buzzing to get their hands on one of your NFTs after hearing your response. Let's speak on the other games as well. The vEmpire's puzzle NFT game has created quite the talk in the social media space. Can you talk a little bit more about the vEmpire's puzzle NFT game and kind of give an explanation for those who might not be familiar?
Yeah, so I think sort of the community's hit a bit of a brick wall on this one, to be honest. The latest clue hasn't been solved yet. So you might have just reinvigorated it, you know. What's happened before with it is that we had the original sort of quest announcement. People were trying to solve it. Then it went quiet because no one could work it out. Then someone worked it out. Then it got hyped up again, and now it's dropped back down. So you might have just started the turn back up with it. So yeah, it's called the Emperor's Parchments Quest. So originally we hid a character, letter, or handle within each of our first 100 Cataphract NFTs and each of our second Reinforcements NFTs. So that led to 7 influencers, 4 of which were nice enough to take part and share the clues which I sent to them. So that led to the name of one of our advisors, who then shared the next part of the clue, probably making no sense already. And that's what people are stuck on now. So the winner of this, and it will take a very, very, very long time to solve, will get 1% of the total supply of VEMP. So I think that's already worth 2.5 or more million. So yeah, it's a big prize, but yeah, for that reason, it's hard to solve. So at the moment, people were stuck on one part, which is called the Emperor's Last Will and Testament. So there's a letter which has the next clue in it, but so far no one has actually solved it. So yeah, the person who does eventually win the quest, not just the letter part, there's more after that, will get 8 million VEMP, which at the moment is worth over 3 million.
Yeah, that's quite the price. I'm gonna have to pick your brain after this call. But
Yeah.
I guess aside from the current offerings, vEmpire also includes games like cards, battles, and Metaverse features as well. Are you planning to add other types of entertainment-related features as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been working on the event side of our business, actually. So again, one of my complaints with Decentraland, I feel like I'm going in on them all the time, to be honest.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's a lot of empty plots, and I think they'll share this complaint with me, to be honest, where people, they like buying land and flipping land, but they don't really like doing anything with it. So it leads to a lot of empty spaces, which is just, not good for a metaverse, not good for the protocol, not good for the users. So we are developing every single patch that we buy, and we're currently building. We do already have an embassy and barracks in Decentraland, but we are upgrading it, and it's going to look incredible. I haven't seen anything that looks as good as what we're building in Decentraland currently, so can't wait to show everybody that. We're also building an amphitheater. It was going to be a coliseum, but we decided to go with amphitheater because you can get more people in and you don't have to go the full circle and close it off. So that's the idea. We've got some really, really strong builds. Our sandbox build, for one, and all of the Decentraland stuff. So we very much want to, allow more access and better features in these metaverses, because anyone jumping in at the moment is a bit limited in what they can do. So, we've got art galleries and casinos in the real world. So let's try and build something that we don't have anymore, like ancient Rome, or anything futuristic as well. So that was sort of the reason why we wanted to develop and make sure that we weren't just leaving and empty plots of land and just being, as I say, a land baron.
Sure. That's very interesting. I guess this is more of a conceptual question, and interested to hear your thoughts on this. What's the first thing you would like people to think of in the future when vEmpire is mentioned to them?
Gateway to the metaverse.
Mm.
I guess if I could summarize that, we want to be accessible We want to allow any user to get involved in metaverse property and in the metaverse. So we want to be the gateway to the metaverse for the retail market, especially those who are priced out, because that's pretty much 99% of users at the moment. Sandbox to even get one single parcel now, it's over $20,000. And the thing is, as much as, yes, there's a lot of people in crypto with more than $20,000, but how many people want to tie up $20,000 in Sandland, $20,000 in Manaland? Because it is like a normal physical property. It's not just a token you can sell. So you need to accept the additional fact that you don't necessarily have the liquidity. So a lot of people aren't buying these assets for the pure reason that they just don't like the liquidity or anything like that. So what we're providing is another option where somebody can have smaller amounts but still benefit from everything we've seen over the past 2 months. We started this protocol back in August. So when we were buying those 3x3 estates for 50K, they're now being sold for over 400. So that's just in the 3 months that our token's been launched. So you can see the need for our protocol, and we're already starting to see others trying to get into this area. But the key benefit of us is A, first mover advantage, and B, like I said, what they're buying for 400K, we bought 3 months ago for 50K. So we've got such a head start, because for anyone trying to copy us, and any good protocol gets copycats, we all know that. Look at all the e-news and food-based swaps that I mentioned earlier. So they need to spend 10 times as much money to get what we were picking up cheap, because we had.
Sure. Do you care to comment on Facebook's rebranding and a company like a big company, very retail driven, corporation coming into the space? Do you care to comment on that? I don't want to put you on the spot, but just interesting.
No, I would love to go in on them.
Yeah.
That's no problem at all. Yeah, I mean, a leopard never changes its spots. They just try and hide their face, which is what they're doing. I mean, I don't think they quite anticipate the sort of grip that blockchain has on the metaverse and on ownership and Web3. I think they think that this is just another area they can expand. But in reality, no user who is currently interested in the metaverse or interested in blockchain will ever use Meta's metaverse. They won't convert. And it's stupid to think that they will. And if you try and get people to, then they go back the other way. Facebook is going to have to introduce all of the, mums, dads, and grandparents who are still use Facebook and check in places and whatever people do now on Facebook. They are outdated, and they're trying to reinvent themselves because they know, Facebook. They can't be called Facebook because Facebook is awful. Instagram, different. Instagram's got a good name. People like it. People still use it. But Facebook, everyone knows that it's just for people's mums, dads, and grandparents now. And that's why it's dying, because it's lost the young people it once had. So they're trying to reinvent Facebook because they know that Facebook's dying. They should have just called themselves Instagram. So that's my view.
Sure. And thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and let's segue to, I guess, more of your roadmap and your future plans. I think it's important for your users to understand the project's goals and ultimately what you would like to achieve through your project. So many of our users are curious about your roadmap. So what are some major milestones that vEmpire have achieved so far, and what do you have coming in the future pipeline?
Yeah, so achievements so far, we already got to, I think, might have even been top 3 trading cards on OpenSea. If they're watching, we are still wanting our blue tick. and verification, please. We're on Rarity Tools for that already, so that should be next. As well as that, we broke into the top 500 tokens, and yeah, we're now at the stage which is really what I find, quite really sort of big news, is that we're at the stage where layer ones are contacting us to build on their chain because they see the value we bring to their ecosystem in attracting new metaverse and game feed projects. Everyone wants, the next Star Atlas to launch on them, rather than Sol, rather than Ethereum. So we're getting contacted to build on other chains because they know that if they say that they've got vEmpire on their chain, that there's a protocol there ready and waiting to purchase high quality NFTs and metaverse assets. So I think that's one of the most bullish things that I'm seeing right now, is the fact that we are in demand from tokens who are, in terms of market cap, 20, 30, 50, 100 times our size. So I think the future is very bright for us. As I say, the barriers for entry to us weren't the same when we started. So as much as you've got a flood of new metaverse and game fee protocols, it's important to note we aren't a metaverse, we aren't game fee, we aren't DeFi, we are all three into one. So I always say, one of the most unique and amazing things about vEmpire is the fact that we can be flexible. Very rare in a crypto protocol, but Starlink, for example, that only launched 1 month before we did, and we were able to add a staking pool. The reason why is that we have the ability to follow trends, see what's hot, and add it very, very quickly. And we're already on multiple chains, so not even that will be able to stop us. So, we can encompass, and we do encompass, every single game fee and metaverse protocol out there. So that's why I say gateway to the metaverse, because we cover all. We are the first layer 2 metaverse protocol.
Sure. And I do want to say, first, congratulations on obviously all the achievements that you've done so far, and we're very excited for all the future roadmaps that your project will bring. And for our final question, what is the best way our community can get involved with your project? Obviously, aside from buying the token on the exchange.
Buy more. No, joking.
Yeah. Buy more and trade more.
Yeah. So jump in on our Discord and join our Telegram announcements channel. So that is where our news goes first. It's where the community lives, and it's where I am as well. So the majority of our discussions will be on Discord in the future. So yeah, you'll find me in the Telegram discussion mostly, but that's because it's where I do most of my business, on Telegram chats. So yeah, jump in, say hello. Community is incredible. Diehard fans, they see the vision, and with us, once you fully understand the scope, vision, and sort of flexibility and fluidity that we have as a protocol, you'll be just as hooked as our community is. So yeah, jump in, say hello, follow us on Twitter, follow us on our socials, Discords, and yeah, we're happy to answer questions. And yeah, you'll definitely be welcomed with open arms.
Great. Well, that's all the questions I had today. And thank you, Dominic, for joining us for this AMA today. We learned a lot more about vEmpire and the VEMP gaming token. We're really excited about partnering and for the future of vEmpire. If our viewers want to learn more about vEmpire, please go to vEmpire Digital. That's v-empire.digital. Thank you again, Dominic. Hope to speak again soon. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Great. Take care.